Welcome back to the Lotus Cup Europe. We are at Hockenheime for the opening rounds of the season, and charging up through the back of the grid is the number 70 car of Nicolas Frère. He's just doing battle with Anthony Fournier at the moment as they head towards turn 2 here on the Hockenheime Grand Prix circuit, racing as part of the Jim Clark Revival meeting. And this is one of the closest battles he's got on track at the moment. Out front, by the way, Gregory Rass continues to lead as he was before we went to the commercials. Meanwhile, Thomas Vizin is making good progress up the order after his earlier spin. You can see the Hockenheime circuit is somewhat different from Jim Clark's day, with lots of safety fencing around the circuit, which even our cameraman has to stand behind, as the battle between Fournier and Frère continues. Still, Frère struggling to progress. In the meantime, Gregory Rass getting in and amongst some of the traffic, and this is when his race starts to get a lot busier. So there is the 2:11 of Anthony Fournier, Nicolas Frère in the Pocket Rocket Exige just behind. They work through the stadium section on towards the conclusion of another lap. It's out of the final sequence, the double right-hander, and then sprint along the start and finish straight on towards the first corner. Frère not quite close enough to challenge this time around. Through they go, and then we've got another nice scrap brewing up behind three of the 2:11s. It's Mr. and Mrs. Genu Prache running second and third in the queue, and they are just up behind Benoit Rogier in the bright red number 76 car. As Jean-Pierre Genu Prache finds a way past Rogier. Rogier then looks to defend from Nathalie Genu Prache. Well, that could get a little bit tight into the hairpin. They make it out in one piece. Nathalie Genu Prache gains the place. Whether or not she'll keep it with that waved yellow flag, we can see in the back of the shot, remains to be seen. So the battle continuing underneath the imposing Mercedes-Benz stand, and they're almost three wide. Nathalie Genu Prache looks to the inside of Benoit Rogier. Jean-Pierre Genu Prache trying to find the space as well. This is a very enjoyable little tussle. The 2:11s all very evenly matched, beginning their long trip back towards the pits. Rogier to the inside, Jean-Pierre Genu Prache. That may not work, because for those of you with thick and furry anoraks, you may remember Lucas de Grassi trying that in an F3 Euro Series race, and ending up on top of the tyre wall and almost in the grandstand. Well, Benoit Rogier loses out on that occasion, drops behind both the Genu Praches. As here is our race leader, Gregory Rass, second place. Jonathan Walker trying to close in on him. Nicolas Gibson still keeping them honest. That's Case Vers-Lois, who they are lapping in his production class Elise. So the 2:11 train continuing to roll. Oh, that's a mistake into turn 1 from Jean-Pierre Genu Prache. He may get punished for that. He's done well actually to hold it all together. Instead, Nathalie Genu Prache looks to challenge into turn 2, launches a move to the inside, and as they all continue to battle with each other, that is allowing, I think, Steve Williams in his Evora just to close up onto their tail. So they come into view. I wouldn't call it the back straight, but it's an absolutely flat-out back flick around the left-hand kink into the hairpin, and then back towards the stadium section. I believe the diggers have stopped working in the background to enjoy the action from the Lotus Cup Europe. And this is the battle for 13th position that we're currently enjoying. There is Nathalie Genu Prache, the pink car. Benoit Rogier still joining this fight. Jean-Pierre Genu Prache, formerly a raceman, of course, in the Lotus Cup Europe, just behind. One of the beauties of this championship is wherever you look, there are good battles going on. That's Benedek Major, who is just ahead of Jean Rass. And now Steve Williams in the Evora is beginning to join the 2:11s. Headlights ablaze from Williams as he turns into the cambered left-hand hairpin. The camera angle doesn't deceive you there. It really is quite a narrow piece of tarmac, and you can overtake, but you need to be fully alongside. Instead, the preferred option is more to do exactly what Steve Williams did then, and that's find the space to the inside, then into the right-hander if you can possibly get the exit. So across the line they come. Another lap reeled off. All the while, though, out front, Gregory Rass continues to march onward. Williams has cleared 2 of the 211s. What about next when he turns his headlights off? Expect any consultation in the mirrors from Jenny Prachet. She'll be perfectly aware that Steve is chasing down. Meanwhile, the gap between the leaders, if anything, has come down just a little bit. There is Jonathan Walker, rather, again out over the AstroTurf. Walker living dangerously. He's broken away a little bit. Nicholas Ibsen, they've got Xavier Georges now up into 4th place. Not too far detached from this battle either. There is Xavier Georges, the sky blue and orange car. More battles to enjoy. Markus Nikovic goes a little bit sideways. He's in the thick of the action amongst the production class runners. And is shortly going to be overhauled by our race leaders, who just get their way clear of Jason McAnulty. See then Gregory Rass just at the back of the picture. He's got production class car and an Exige V6 Cup R. It's Janos Santa who he is able to pick his way past. Unfortunately, Santa doesn't delay Rass, so it's not Christmas come early for Jonathan Walker. He can't gain any advantage in the traffic. So here comes Rass with Walker still couple of lap cars between himself and the race leader, and Nicolas Gibson not too far adrift either. And of course, the more cars that they lap, the quicker cars that they're catching. That is one of the Elise Cup R's that they're just picking their way through past now. And we've got Thierry Hedouin as well, who is in amongst the traffic as they head on to the last lap of the race, and it's looking reasonably comfortable for Gregory Rass. Jonathan Walker likewise in 2nd position. I think we'll have to make a mistake for Nicolas Ibsen to come on to turns with him. Ibsen, though, looking very smooth and poised through the first turn, just rides the rumble strip. Walker, though, no dramas particularly as they head on towards turn 2. Nicolas Ibsen, who just has to concentrate on getting the exit that he wants. Thierry Hedouin continues his dice. Now, what sort of progress can Nicolas Ibsen make? Meanwhile, Jean-Baptiste Loup has got Anthony Fournier closing up onto his tail. Christophe Legendre it is, by the way, who leads the 211 class. This is the battle for 2nd in class. As now here come the race leaders, and Walker has been caught by Nicolas Gibson. And Nicolas Gibson now looking to really challenge that 2nd position, and Walker a little bit slow. I don't know whether he's a little bit light on fuel, possibly coming out of the hairpin, because Ibsen looks to draw alongside as they head through the turn, and Ibsen all sideways, but he does a great job of blocking out Walker. But then Nicolas Ibsen runs wide. Surely Jonathan Walker can square it off, will draw alongside. He can't quite do it. The 7 car just seems to be down the acceleration, but Walker gets his elbow out, bang, makes some contact, seesaws the wheel, but still Ibsen is ahead. Nicolas Ibsen may have just snuck 2nd position. There's only 3 corners to go. No concerns for Gregory Rass. He leads the way. This is the battle everybody's watching, though. 2nd position, it's suddenly come alive with just a few corners to go. Gibson, the silver paint scheme glinting. Headlights of Jonathan Walker behind him, but for whatever reason, John Walker, something's gone wrong on this last lap. So coming through to take the flag, it's going to be Gregory Rass, who wins the first Lotus Cup Europe race in the season. Rass victorious, and 2nd place is indeed going to go the way of Nicolas Gibson, just from John Walker. So dramatic end to the race then. Let's have a look at the final results. Victory and V6 class honours to Gregory Rass. The top 211 was Christophe Legendre in 8th place. A great drive from Christophe, formerly a race winner. Nicolas Ferrer it was who took open class honours, and John Rass, the top production runner, a very strong 20th place for John. Well, Thierry Hedouin's feisty drive was rewarded with 23rd, and Thomas Vizin recovering well after his wayward moment to 21st position. Well, despite the huge grid, 33 of them made it through safely to the checkered flag. All in all, a very lively and entertaining way to start the season.
Gregory, a fantastic start to the season. 2015 looks set to be a promising year. You had 2-second lead the whole way round. How was it out there?
It was fantastic.
A man, a few words, but it was a fantastic drive to start. Nikolai, come here. Now, Nikolai, you do indeed have to do more. Now, you managed to take John on the last lap. That was a fantastic drive. You were holding your position strong all the way and then got into second place.
Yeah, I was keeping up with him all the way around, and then I was hoping that my tyres would be better than his in the end, because we were sort of keeping the same distance all the way. And I think 4 or 5 laps from the end, I could see he was beginning to, his tyres were not as good as mine. And then eventually, I think he had a tyre problem, that's what he said. But I caught him in the last hairpin in the bottom, and then I was just really defensive lines all the way home.
Now, Jonathan, that was a slight unfortunate finish, but still a fantastic drive. Third place, not a bad way to start the season.
No, not too bad. It would have been nice to have a bit of a race with Greg. I fluffed the start in the wrong gear, hit the rev limiter and just lost a little bit of time. But Greg had really good pace, but he was had some problems in traffic, and I think if I hadn't had the tyre failure 2 laps from the end, I could have caught him and given him a little bit of a battle, but it wasn't to be.
Join us after the break with more action from here at Hockenheime.